Your email revenue dropped in 2025, and you're trying to figure out what's broken before your boss asks you to defend the budget. I'm Charles Clayton, got 15 years building email systems for Fortune 500 companies. And today I'm going to show you how to figure out what actually dropped, how to stop the bleeding, and how to go into 2026 with numbers you can defend. Let's get into it. Here's what happened in 2025. Email revenue dropped, and when you tried to figure it out why, you hit a wall because the metrics are lying. Apple Mail is inflating your open rates. Gmail's one-click unsubscribe doubled your unsubscribe rates. And your platform is showing you vanity metrics that don't match actual revenue. So you're staring at dashboards that say everything's fine while your revenue is down 20, 30, or maybe even 40%. And here's the thing. The problem isn't your subject lines, it's not your send times, it's not your segmentation. The problem is you don't know what's actually broken, you're guessing. And when you can't prove what's working, you can't defend your budget. You can't justify headcount. You can't push back when your CEO says, maybe we don't need email in 2026. That's the real problem, not the drop itself, the fact that you can't diagnose it, fix it, or prove it's fixed. Let me show you how to fix it. How to fix it this week. All right, you've got 1 week to fix your email. 5 days, 1 task per day. By Friday, you'll know exactly what's broken and how to fix it. Monday, let's figure out what's actually broken. Pull your email data for the entire year of 2025, January through December. You're looking for 5 numbers. 1, total revenue from email, not pipeline, closed revenue. 2, revenue per email sent. Take total revenue divided by the total email sent. Simple. 3, your engaged audience size, which means how many people opened or clicked in the last 90 days. 4, your unsubscribe rate by month. Is it accelerating? And 5, what are your top 3 revenue generating emails? Which specific emails close deals? Now, here's what most people do wrong. They look at open rates and deliverability and just call it a day. But those metrics don't tell you if your email is making money. Revenue per email tells you if your email is making money. Let's do an example. Suppose you're a marketing director at a $20 million B2B company. Email attribution dropped from 50% of deals to 6%. You pull up your dashboard. Open rates look fine. Deliverability shows 97%. But here's what you missed. Your engaged audience shrunk from 40% of your list to 22%. And your unsubscribe rate doubled. Man, you lost 4,000 subscribers and you didn't even notice. You weren't failing at execution. You were failing at diagnosis. Monday's done. You know what's broken? Just 1 hour work. Okay, now it's Tuesday. We're going to decide what to actually fix first. Look at what you wrote down on Monday. If your revenue per email dropped, but your engaged audience stayed stable, your problem is content. Your emails are not converting. But if your engaged audience dropped, but your revenue per email stayed stable, your problem is list health. You're losing people faster than you're replacing them. And if both dropped, you got a compound problem. And here's the thing, you can't fix both of them at once. If you try to fix list health and content at the same time, you'll fix neither. You'll burn out. Your team will burn out. And by March, you'll be back where you started. So Tuesday, you make the call. Pick one. If you're bleeding subscribers, fix the list health. If your list is stable but revenue is broken, fix your content first. Let's write it down. In Q1 2026, I'm either fixing list health or I'm fixing content. All right. Tuesday's done. You've made the strategic call. Okay, Wednesday, we're going to find the revenue core. All right, so we want to find the 20% of your list that drives 80% of your revenue. So go to your email platform, segment your list by engagement over the last 90 days. Who's opened 5 or more emails? Who clicked 3 or more times? Who converted in the last 6 months? That's your revenue core. For most B2B companies, this is about 20 to 30% of your total list. Now, here's what you do with the other 70%. Don't delete them. Don't ignore them, but stop treating them like they're your revenue core. Your revenue core gets your best content, your highest frequency, your most attention. The other 70%, they get a re-engagement sequence. One last shot to prove they're still interested. If they don't engage, you move them to the quarterly email only, or you remove them entirely. Now, this is hard. You see a list of 50,000 and you don't want to cut it to 15,000, but here's the actual reality. 15,000 engaged people will generate more revenue than 50,000 when 35,000 people never opened. All right, Wednesday's done. You found your revenue core. Okay, now it's Thursday. We're going to pick your best 2026 bet. So we're going to pick one thing to prove that email still works. Not 10 things, Just one. Because here's what you're up against in 2026. Your CEO is skeptical. Your CFO wants to cut costs. Your sales teams think that email's dead. You need one win. One thing you could point into Q1 and say, email drove X dollars in 90 days. Here are your three options. Option one, build one automated revenue sequence, lead nurture, trial conversion, win back, something that runs on autopilot and actually closes deals. Say, target 50K in close revenue in 90 days. All right, here's option two. Double down on your top performing email, the one that you found on Monday, the one that drives the most revenue. Do it again. Make it better. Send it to your engaged core. Target 75K in close revenue in 90 days with this one. Option three, grow your engaged audience by 25% in Q1. This is list health play. You're betting that if you grow your engaged subscribers, revenue will follow. Target 25% growth in 98 days. Pick one, write it down, put it on your calendar for Q1. One bet, prove it works. Thursday's done. Friday, set up tracking you can defend. Here's the problem with most email dashboards. They show vanity metrics, opens, clicks, list size. Your CEO doesn't care about opens. Your CEO cares about revenue. So Friday, you build a dashboard that shows these things. 1. Revenue from email, month over month, closed revenue. 2. Revenue per email sent. This shows efficiency. Are you getting better or worse at turning emails into money? 3. Engaged audience growth. Are you building an asset or are you burning it down? Here's what people say, but our platform doesn't track closed revenue. They connect it to your CRM. Whether it's Salesforce, HubSpot, Pipedrive, most platforms can integrate with your CRM. If yours doesn't, just export the data out manually once a month. Yes, I know. It only takes 30 minutes to set this up. And when your CEO asks, is email working? Pull up one dashboard and say, email drove $127,000 in closed revenue in Q1, up 18% from Q4. Revenue per email is up 22%. Our engaged audience grew by 15%. That's a conversation you can win. All right, Friday's done. You've got tracking you can defend. All right, so you've run the diagnostic, you've made the triage call, you found your revenue core, you picked your 2026 bet, and you set up tracking. Now what? If you did all 5 days, you're going into the year with clarity. You know what's broken, you know what you're fixing, you have metrics you can defend. Most marketer leaders don't have that. They're going into the year guessing, hoping, praying their boss doesn't ask hard questions. You're not guessing anymore. If you don't do this yet, block out 3 hours this week. Get it done. Because the difference between marketing leaders who keep their jobs in 2026 and the ones who don't comes down to one thing. Can you prove email works? If you can, you're safe. If you can't, listen, email isn't dead. It's one of the highest ROI channels in B2B marketing, but you can't prove that with only open rates and vanity metrics. You prove it with revenue, with growth, with numbers that matter to the people who control your budget. So get ready to prove it. If you want help building this system for your business, book a strategy call. Links in the description. We'll figure out what's broken and how to fix it in 2026. Next week, I'm breaking down the exact sequences of every B2B company. I'm Charles Clayton. Let's make 2026 the year you prove email works.